Hey everybody, welcome back, and we are concluding the year in review series with Citibank. And when it came to Citibank, there's one person I really wanted to talk to, get their perspective on Citi, and that is Key from Kiki's Adventures. Key has had over 90 credit card products. Key has shortened her portfolio, and so we talked about that a little bit. We talked about where Citi's going, kind of giving an idea of what we think of a grade overall for Citi would be. And we wanted, and I'm glad I was able to do this after the announcement of the exclusivity deal between American Airlines and Citi. Now, we didn't go into whether or not Citi will become a transfer partner with American Airlines or anything like that. I still have my thoughts on that, but I will be leading into first a frustrations series, going over the same banks with my frustrations. It's just about Festivus season, so expect videos on that very shortly, and then kind of a wish list as we get through the remainder of the year or into the beginning of the year. For the wish list, I probably will not be doing US Bank, just because US Bank I don't understand. So if you've seen my video on US Bank Smartly with my two-parter with Spathco, you'll understand why I'm with them. But regardless, this is a conversation that Key and I had. I thank Key greatly for taking the time to talk to me about where Citi is, where they're going, what happened with Strata Premier this year. Not necessarily going into too much in terms of speculation with Strata Elite, but there's still work to be done with Citi, and so we'll just go over those things as well. It's a lengthy conversation. It's an interesting conversation. Hopefully you stick around for everything, but if you like what I do, hit the like and subscribe button down below. Check out Key's channel. It'll be in the description as well. And if you like what I do in a more weekly format, I do the Stack Your Points podcast. I co-host with Call Me Lonnie, RJ from Do You Take Cards, Tariq from Reeks Rewards, and that is a more roundtable type discussion instead of my usual tidbits or speculation or whatever else. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the time. Enjoy this interview. Talk to you soon. Bye. And now by Key from Kiki's Adventures. Key, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Thanks for taking the time to talk some Citi with me. When I think of folks who have had a lot of credit cards, you definitely come to mind. And I have to imagine that, like, Citi, you're one of the people who can speak authoritatively about Citi, especially knowing that you have one of Citi's longer term grandfather cards that is still really powerful for those who can use it.
Okay, that's new news to me. But I've had a relationship with Citi since 2015, so yeah, hopefully I can bring some value to the conversation today.
Definitely. And in that vein, we'll just start off with this first question. What Citi cards have you had?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of duplicates, as you know. I started my relationship with a Citi Double Cash credit card, like I said, in 2015. I've had numerous of the Citi Advantage Business credit card. I'm
Mhm.
looking at 4 of those here. I've had 3 of the Citi Strata Premier cards. I've had 1 of the Citi Rewards Plus card and 1 custom cash card.
Interesting. And do you still have the Citi Prestige, correct?
I actually don't have the Prestige. That's one card that I wish I would have gotten.
You know that I for some reason I thought you did have the Prestige. My apologies on that one.
No stress,
But
no stress. That's why we're talking today. But the Citi Prestige, if you have it, and any grandfather card, right? I know people are always talking about like the Ritz card, for example,
mhm.
eventually maybe being grandfathered in. I mean, definitely try and keep cards like that, right? Because once they're gone, they gone.
Yeah. The Ritz card, I'm still not unconvinced that the Ritz card won't like make a reappearance, but it's gonna depend on like that Marriott Chase Amex contract,
Lawyer
whatever it is.
lawyer nightmare.
Yeah. Um So that is a whole other discussion. I still think like Chase would want to get back into things, but that's a whole other issue. So speaking about the Strata Elite, not the Strata Elite, sorry, the Strata Premier.
Mhm.
The Strata Premier did make some changes this year. What were your thoughts on those changes that came? They were very small, but they were definitely present.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to remind me. I know you're the research man, so double check me on this. I know that
Mhm.
they got rid of you used to be able to get a 25% boost when you used your points in the travel portal with Citi. I think that changed this year. So I would say, like, if anything, that's like a detriment. But all the other changes, in my opinion, keeping the annual fee the same, I'm in. Anytime there's enhancements where the fee stays the same, I'm on board.
Yeah, I know for certain that this year it was, adding electric car charging and, in addition to gas.
Mhm.
They also brought back their travel protections, which their travel protections, from what I remember, they aren't at Chase's level or even necessarily American Express's level, but, like, they were taken away for so long that getting something back was better than nothing.
For sure, for sure.
And I don't remember that redemption boost in the portal,
Yeah,
but, if
25%.
it's not I know it's not there now, but they may have taken that away. I'm not sure when they may have taken that away,
Okay.
but that
Yeah.
wasn't
So
mentioned.
all in all, if I was to give it a grade, Matt, I'm interested to know
Mhm.
what your grade is. But if I was to give it a grade, I'm gonna go solid B plus. Like, I mean, definitely not A, but
Yep.
still, this is a great card for just about anybody. So B plus in my opinion. Travel protections coming back. I would say, like, did you have the old travel protections? Because if so, like, they don't really, you're always glad to have them when you need them, but when you're traveling and when you're booking stuff, like your goal is to get there, right? So you're
Yeah.
not really worried about it until you have to. So, in my opinion, B plus, teetering on the border of an A for people, normal people, right? Like I know we're abnormal, but normal people teetering on the border of an A.
Yeah, so for normal people, I would say it's definitely the card didn't have to do anything major, and they didn't do anything major, but bringing back those travel protections is nice, um, uh, for the folks who will need to if folks need to use them. Hopefully, you don't have to. I would have liked to have seen, like, that $100 credit maybe be reworked somehow, make it a little bit easier, maybe not go through the portal, but, all when the Strata, when the Strata trademarks were announced and we were all speculating about it, I was just like, Strata Premier, all they have to do, if all it is, because it just sounds like a rebadging of City Premier, is just a rebadge of the City Premier, slap a new coat of paint on it, add the travel protections, and you're good. And they slapped a new coat of paint on it, added the travel protections, they were good. So like that card, I would definitely give a B plus. B plus grade too. Not sure what I think of overall City yet, but we'll talk about that as we go on. Now, in actually talking about that, what do you think of City's direction or their stated direction? Like we've had a whole bunch of like City future news or future plans where they're still trying to get Strata Elite off the ground. There's this Strata Select trademark floating around. There's also a lounge trademark floating out there.
Mhm.
Like, what do you think of City's stated direction, and where do you think City ends up in the next 12 months?
Ooh, what a good question. I don't know where they'll end up, right? But
Mhm,
it's exciting to see any news, right? Because I feel like for a long time, City just was, I don't know, American Airlines as well as, the double cash, right? Like everyone kind of knows City for those two things, I would say.
mhm.
But now I think they're trying to be in more households and they're trying to have true brand recognition. So I'm on board with that, in whatever regards that means. If it means airline lounges, I'll be there.
Yeah, I know that they have the trademark for lounges. The trademark doesn't explicitly highlight airlines, but, like, they're going after music venues first, and then once the music venues kinda, like, prove "Hey, there's a thing here," they're probably going to go after airlines after that. They're gonna follow the models from, like, Chase and American Express on that one, so
Okay. Yeah, that would be interesting, right? I know, like, so with American Express, for example, and I know we're not going to talk about this too much, but
Mhm.
American Express not only has airport lounges, they have lounges in arenas, like for example at the, is it Crypto.com Center, old Staples Center? I forget what it's called now. I don't know what it's called.
I
Uh,
just call it Staples Center.
okay, cool. Staples Center in LA, and
Yep.
then also they have something at Barclays in New York City, or excuse me, Brooklyn. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone from New York. So in Brooklyn. Um, so if City goes that same route, like I love having like my own entrance going into things. Like I don't know, it just feels really, I don't know, exclusive when I'm, not really balling like that. So I love it.
Yeah, no, in that vein, like City, it would make the most sense for City to put that in at City Field, obviously. As a Mets fan, that might be a reason to get a City card other than like the they used to do like a 3% discount on everything if you used a Citi card in
Oh, at Citi
stadium.
Field?
Yeah. I don't
Oh,
know if that's still active, but that was one of like the big draws of like, oh, get a Citi card because you'll save money at Citi Field when
that's cool.
you're paying like $90 for hot dogs and beer.
Facts.
Uh,
That's cool though.
yeah,
So
and
something like that, I think, would be really great because I know that we get really nerdy about credit cards, but most people aren't like us. So I think like however they can start increasing their brand recognition and just daily use, right? Like we want people using these cards so that way they can keep offering us these great rewards, right? So really, really excited, whatever they do. And if it's at
yep,
Citi Field, you know I'm going for another baseball game.
it's a great experience. I love Citi Field.
Yeah.
Modeled off of a stadium I need to go to in PNC, but um, also with City's direction earlier this year. I'm sure you were on or you like watched Joe's video when he went to City, talked to City folks, and like came back to us with what he had. There was mention of a business card that was going to be a thank you point earning business card.
Mhm.
Would a thank you point earning business card, because we've talked about your strategy like on the Stack Your Points podcast here and there, and you've mentioned your strategy. Would City introducing a business card alter your strategy at all next year?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I guess, if it didn't add to my 524.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 424 today when it comes to how many new cards I've gotten, technically. But yeah, however, I can earn more thank you points. I'm always on board for. This year, I've spent a little over 80,000 City thank you points. And I think that's about average with the last like 4 years. So yeah, however I can keep replenishing those stashes would be great. And I love a good business card, right?
They are very weirdly useful. I would be interesting to see. I would be interested to see what those categories would look like for a thank you business card. I
Mhm.
would imagine that they would either start like copying the Signify business with like and their double cash with just a 2% or 2x earner, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
I feel like I think in the past they had a city thank you earning business card. I don't remember the earnings, right? But it
yeah.
wouldn't surprise me if it was more comparable to the Chase Inc. preferred card, where it's
Okay.
3x on, I'll say like shipping, internet, those types of things. Like I'll say more business, small business type things, maybe even like computer electronics or like software or something like that.
Yeah.
That would not surprise me at all. I think that they like the double cash, and I think that that's simple enough for most people to understand. I don't think they would pull a Capital One, right, and just duplicate the card again. I don't think they would do that.
That that's completely fair. I hadn't really thought about going the ink preferred route, but when you say that, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe they could also go after like the business gold, where your top two spend
Oh,
categories out of a list could get you like 4 times thank you points or something.
okay, like the custom cash. Yeah, see, so something like that. I think that they would do something.
Yeah, that makes a certain amount of sense. Now, thinking about City overall, like overall for the year, they reintroduced the Premier as a Strata Premier. We're still waiting for Strata Elite. We're still waiting to find out what Strata Select looks like. They did add I Prefer as a new transfer partner. They haven't added any new airline partners, but now their hotel offerings are unique amongst the uh, bigger, well-known issuers. What do you think of City's move this year overall, and like as a grade overall for the year? How do you think they're doing?
I love it. I actually just booked an I Prefer hotel for 2025, utilizing these points. And come on, like a 1-to-4 ratio. So one city thank you point is 4 I Prefer points. I think it just gets folks that are into award travel really into it, right? Like the first thing I did was I went straight to the award chart. And yeah, I know the website's clunky, but
Mhm.
like after I figured it out, right? And pretty solid. I think I'm excited. It's finally a new transfer partner, right? I know like Wells Fargo introduced transfer partners this year, and people were saying that those are lackluster. I
Right.
disagree with that, but this is a net new partner. You know what I mean? No one really has that, and I'm I love it. I was excited to use some of my choice points, or excuse me, not choice points. Some of my city points.
Yeah, because you can book some I Prefer locations with choice points, but
Correct,
like
not all of them.
if I remember correctly, that conversion from like Citi, so Citi to Choice would be 1 to 2, and then Choice to I Prefer was like became like some sort of astronomically large number,
Yeah.
where now you can do Citi to I Prefer direct at 1 to 4. Now, can you backbook from I Prefer to Choice? Like, are there Choice
Ah,
properties available on I Prefer?
good question. I don't know because I went directly to iprefer.com, so I didn't see any of the choice properties. These are more, I don't want to say I would say boutique. I would say these are
Mhm.
more boutique properties where choice is like, you recognize it off the side of the street.
Right.
I didn't see any of those types of hotels when I was booking. But I knew exactly what I was looking for, so I wasn't really creeping like that on the website.
No, that's fair. Just spitballing, I think the best bets you'd get would either be like a Kimpton. No, the Kimpton is
Hamptons
IHG.
IHG, yeah.
Sorry. What am I thinking? Oh, Cambria was what I was thinking.
Oh, Cambria, yeah. I didn't even see any of those. These are like
Yeah,
net new like logos. I'd never even heard of these types of hotels.
no, makes sense. Then the other brand from the Choice collection I would think of would be like the Ascend collections, because those
Mhm.
are also like boutique hotels, but under the Ascend brand.
Yep.
So, uh, more investigation to be done there. Now, with that in mind, overall, with like adding I Prefer, the other big news from Citi just kind of broke in the last, literally the last week. That is, Citi is becoming the exclusive issuer of American Airlines co-branded cards. Now, there's been some contention, or I wouldn't say contention. Like, I read the press release. Press release hasn't said transfer partnerships yet, but the big thought is, oh, transfer partnership is coming soon.
Mhm.
Um, does the American Airlines, does this deal, where does this deal fit in like their overall grade for the year?
Yeah. Because so what you're talking about specifically, just want to make sure I understand. So
Mhm.
right now, Barclays as well as Citibank have rights to issue credit cards. I
Yes.
think last week, right? They just said Barclays is out. No more American Airlines cards in 2026. It's going
Yep.
to be just Citi from here on out. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay.
Citi
Yeah.
bought the back book of all the Barclays cards. All those Barclay card holders will not be left holding the bag with a new Barclays card. They're all going to get transferred over to Citi.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Interesting. Barclay's been doing that a lot. I used to have never mind. Digress. Very interesting. The grade for the year, I think that's great. I don't know. I think that partnership caused confusion
Mhm.
amongst people that like not us, right? Like we're always like, okay, we can get more American Airlines points. That's great. However, we can do that is fine.
Right.
But I never understood why two banks could do that. It really just didn't add up. These types of programs make the banks as well as the airlines a lot of money. So like
Yeah.
the fact that they were splitting that relationship and like you could only get a Barclays card in the air, and like when you're walking around the airport, it was Citi. Very confusing, very
Yeah.
very confusing. So I think net positive for us consumers for sure.
I can see that. Yeah, that whole partnership was, that whole thing was weird. When US Airways and American merged,
Hmm.
the contract, I guess, wasn't complete, like, on the US Airways and Barclays portion of things, and, like, they ended up picking up that contract. When the merger was completed, American Airlines went to Citi and was like, "Hey, we've just purchased US Airways. They've got their credit card program. We've got our credit card program. We're looking to combine the loyalty programs, and like it would make the most sense if you pick up Barclays credit cards, US Airways credit cards. Let's just make them all one, and
Mhm.
we'll become transfer partners." And this was like 11 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, you're always doing the research. Thank you. I didn't even know that. That's good stuff, Matt.
Yeah, and now they've fixed the credit card side of things, but conveniently to start, because we still don't know what incremental value means, or what the whole like thank you point and AA thing is going to be.
Mhm.
Um, Now they're back to issuing all the cards will be under one house, but we don't know what's going to happen with transfer partners yet.
Yeah. I mean, would it make sense that Citi would transfer to American Airlines? Definitely. I
Mhm.
don't really like speculating on that type of thing because there's
Sure.
a lot that goes into that. But I will say, in the past, there have been like brief moments of time where thank you points have gone to American Airlines. So perhaps they do that a couple times per, or not a couple times per year, but every so often. I think
Mhm.
that would be great. But I don't know. If they added it, that'd be cool. But if not, also fine. There's other ways to
Yeah.
book American Airlines flights.
Yeah, and they've got plenty of. I feel like Citi's got more One World partners than any other issuer.
Ooh, okay, good observation.
Because they've got Citi has Qantas, AA has Qantas, Citi has British Airways, everybody has British Airways. Citi has Cathay, and I don't think anyone else has Cathay.
Okay, yeah.
If anyone else does have Cathay, it would be like Capital One. And I feel like there's one more airline that's One World that they have.
Etihad, technically, right?
Yeah, Etihad is weird because Etihad is basically a One World, but they're not.
Oh, okay, they're not. Okay.
Yeah, they have the same sort of agreements. Like, oh, Qatar is One World as well, but Qatar goes through Avios, so it doesn't matter. But Etihad, yeah, they have a really close relationship with a lot of One World partners, but they just haven't pulled the trigger and asked to join One World. It's weird. I could be wrong. I feel like Royal Thai Orchid is One World, but I might be wrong on that one. If I am, please fact check me in the comments. Let me know how wrong I am. So the AA deal, good for consumers, pretty good overall for like Citi gets to end the year in a bang for that one.
For sure.
I don't know how justified that bang is, but that's just me. But overall, what do you want to see out of Citi next year going forward? I know Citi isn't necessarily. Well, I watched your 2025 plan video. Didn't really sound like Citi was a big player in your 2025 plans, but that's not to say that Citi wouldn't become a player should anything happen. What would be some things that you would want to see to get Citi back in the top tier of your plans?
Yeah. Like I said, anytime there's a new card, I feel like it always deserves a look. So if it is in fact that they're getting a new card or multiple cards, business or personal, I'll definitely probably change my 2025 plans.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should continue on the path that they're on, right? In my opinion, they're leading by example because all of their cards kind of complement each other. Where that's not the case for, Chase or even American Express or some of these other banks, like that's not the case. They have like a flat 2% card and then they have like these other cards that don't really mesh well together that would make sense to get all of them. I know I probably have all of them, but like it just doesn't make sense. Citi is leading by example. So, you can get 5x on a particular category per month. You can get 3x on just about everything else. And then even less than that, you get 2%. And then on top of all of that, you get 10% back on all the points you use. Like absolutely ridiculous. Nobody else is doing that. Absolutely nobody.
Yeah, that Rewards Plus card is a sneaky big value add for those of us who like it. That is the card that is like the Citi shibboleth. If you know, you know. Yeah. If you don't know, you're just leaving points on the table. So, yeah, that Rewards Plus card is like, I'm curious to see what they do with that, because there was like, when Select was found in August, there was talk of like, oh, maybe it's just like a rebrand of Rewards Plus, where maybe some of the same things stay, but other things change. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
all in all, dear Citi, do not change the Rewards Plus card. That's my feeling on it.
Yeah, there's room. I don't know. There's not even a whole lot of room to like. There's room for that business card, whatever that business card is. There's definitely room for that.
For sure.
There's room for the Strata Elite, but then like looking across their earnings, the only like quip I would have with them is that their travel category isn't as expansive as Chase's or Wells Fargo's, but
True.
small potatoes.
Yeah.
Because like if I can't get 3x at the parking lot, I can still get 2x at the parking lot with the double cash, which that's more than I can get from Chase. Like if Chase's travel category was Citi's travel category, you'd have to lean on the Freedom Unlimited for a lot more. And 1.5 versus 2, but like that half point can add up if you're not redeeming through like the Sapphire Reserve.
100%. Yeah. So in my opinion, I think, it definitely deserves a look for sure. especially if you're someone that has, or considering having like 1 to 4 cards, or 4 or less cards, right? I think that Citi definitely deserves a place in your wallet. I think it has enough transfer partners that are unique that makes it, worthwhile to have a spot, because at $95, nobody else is doing that.
Definitely. Now, I know you don't like to speculate.
Okay.
Definitely know you don't like to speculate.
But
I had to. What would you want to see out of Strata Elite? What would Strata Elite have to give you for you to jump on board? Not necessarily give up the business platinum, not necessarily give up either of the Ritz cards, but what does Citi have to do with Strata Elite to attract you as a customer for it? Aside from launch it.
Yeah. Aside from launching, I think that it has to come in at a solid annual fee, right? They can't hit me with like a $900 annual fee. I'm out. Unless they're offering me gold bars that come along with it. I'm out on that. I do think I'd be in if the travel credits were just mindless, like in the sense they're not broken up, minutely. I'm into that. Just give me my travel credit, or give me, whatever credit, right? I'll just say a bucket of credits. I'm into that all at once. I would say it'd have to lean more towards like a U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve type of benefit than an American Express type of card. As long as it does that, I'm probably in. Honestly, I'm probably in.
So something like real-time rewards, maybe not real-time rewards explicitly, but something like real-time or an elevated return on the rewards.
Actually, yeah. I was thinking more so on the like cell phone protection, and also the way that their travel and dining credit works. You just spend on the card and it automatically comes off. That's what I was thinking more so of. The real-time rewards, Citi's not known for having the best IT, so I'm not throwing any shade at Citi, but like, I doubt they're going to be able to pull off real-time rewards or anything like that, especially because they have the rewards plus card. So I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Okay, no, that's fair. I just wanted to gauge whether it was like the real-time rewards aspect of it, but if it's that all you can eat credit, that makes a lot of sense, especially when it's going up. I'm assuming it's going up against the Sapphire Preferred. It's Sapphire Reserve. It's not going up against necessarily the Amex Platinum, because we don't even know what the Platinum is going to look like with its impending refresh, because like $695 is not long for this world, given the gold card update, given the Hilton card updates, given the Delta card updates, and we don't even know what the green card is going to look like in its next update.
True. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, I was just thinking here, like, I'm over having the global entry and the pre-TSA as well. Like, I'm fine if that card doesn't have that. If it had like a Wi-Fi credit, like an airline Wi-Fi type of thing, I'm in. I miss cards that used to have stuff like that. And I actually would utilize that greatly. So something like that.
So that was honestly so funny you say that, because when I was doing that American Airlines video with Citi, I was like, okay, so incremental value, what does incremental value mean? And afterwards, I was in one of the Discords, and I was like, you know what? Incremental value could just mean like they give Strata Elite something like 2 free check bags when flying American on the Strata Elite. You don't even need an AA card for that. Or the Strata Preferred could get you, because there's no rule right now, there's no mention right now of a 1 Strata limit. So like, what if Strata Preferred got you that 25% discount on Wi-Fi when flying American? Or American could be a big boy airline and just offer free Wi-Fi, but neither here nor there. Like, those were things I was like, okay, that's incremental to me. When you say incremental, that's what I think of. Like, that would be interesting. Like, another TSA global entry credit. If you need to collect them, go get the choice card. You're going to be much happier that way, and it's going to be cheaper. Or get the venture card, because those are $95, and you're just prepaying for global entry that way. But yeah, I mean, global entry. I think Priority Pass restaurants will have to stay, but now that they've said the word lounge, like, Priority Pass is probably calling them.
Yeah, it's probably out.
Yeah, so overall it wasn't a like gangbusters year for Citi necessarily, but like, they did the things they had to do with the Strata Premier, and now the American Airlines announcement getting that done before the end of the year, I guess, was a huge priority, and now it's clearing the decks for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the decks are now cleared for everything else, so now we have to see what Strata Elite looks like, because that's like the next big thing for them.
So we think. Matt.
That's true. Now, Key, I wanted to offer some time for any final thoughts, anything else you want to put out there regarding Citi.
Yeah, Citi is one of those cards this year specifically. I started the year with 4 Citi cards, and I'm down to 2. I just have the Strata Premier as well as the Rewards Plus card. I actually got rid of my double cash and my custom cash because those cards weren't seeing no time ever. I wasn't using them at all, and I was just simplifying. So couple things I learned is that Citi doesn't allow you to move your credit limits from one card to another. So I wanted to just share that because I don't think a lot of people know that. I called and I asked multiple representatives. They gave me the big fat absolutely not. So that's probably just one thing I'd want to leave here.
That strikes me as an absolutely Citi thing to do, honestly. Just because, like, if I have a double cash with like a $13,000 limit, but I don't want to lose that $13,000 across Citi, I can't say, can you move some like 5,000 of that over to my Rewards Plus?
Nope, you cannot.
That is broken.
Yeah.
That is.
I don't want to say it's broken. I just, I think that's a way of limiting their risk, right? If you're going to get rid of their product, maybe this is their way of saying like, too bad, so sad, right? We want to keep you. So I don't blame them.
Yeah, they are a business. They do have to make the decisions that will benefit the business. They don't always have to keep us in mind with those moves. I definitely get that, but I'm just like that has to hurt for some folks who are looking to do that as an exit strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So,
that was not expected in my books at all. I was expecting to move that credit limit over, and no.
because I know you can with Chase, as long as you're not moving from personal to business. Chase is pretty lax with whatever you want to do because you can go across all of the families of cards.
Mm-hmm.
American Express barely cares what you do.
Super easy.
It seems. Wells Fargo is seemingly. I've never had to move credit lines between cards, but I don't think it would necessarily be an issue amongst like. I think the only thing with them would be if I was trying to move credit line from like my MasterCard with them to one of my Visas with them.
Interesting.
That might be an issue,
Hmm.
but I don't even think that would necessarily be an issue. And I haven't tried their personal to business or business to personal just because all of my Wells Fargo cards have 5-figure credit lines. Like I don't need to move anything too crazy with them.
You're balling.
I don't understand what underwriting. I don't know why underwriting at Wells Fargo loves me so much. No, it is not because they're secretly sponsoring my channel and I've been lying to YouTube this entire time. That is absolutely not the case. But yeah, my autograph is 16.6. The Signify Cash, which like my first business card with them, they gave me a $12,000 limit when Barclays gave me a $2,100 limit on my business card with them, and Chase gave me a $3,000 business card limit with them, and Wells was like, "Here's 12,000." And then American Express came over the top later in the year, but they're crazy. And then I got like 11.7 on the Attune card this year, so they like giving me money to play with.
Nice work. Be responsible with credit, and I know you are, and keep putting out these videos. I love them.
Absolutely. Well, Keeve, folks didn't already know where to find you on YouTube. Where's your channel, and how can folks find you to continue getting your awesome insights on credit?
For sure. First, thank you so much for having me on your channel, Matt, to talk about Citi.
Thank you.
My name and my YouTube channel is called Kiki Adventures. You can definitely reach out to me over there. In my description box of every single one of my videos, I have my email address. Do not be shy to use that. But a little bit about me. I have been in the travel rewards credit card game since probably the 2017-ish time frame. Spent well over 6 million points and miles, and I've acquired close to 90 different credit card products at this point. So I am, loving this stuff and happy to share the knowledge with you. So appreciate it, Matt.
Thank you. Oh, and real quick, I'd be remiss not to ask. You said 90 different credit card products over time. I know at one point this year you're at like 54 active. Where is the active number now?
Yeah, great question. I'm going through a whole revamp. I think I'm at 36 active right now. So that number is definitely going to keep dwindling down as I revitalize or refresh my strategy and decide what's on the keep and cancel pile.
Quite the chop already. Wow. Well, if you guys want to follow Key's adventures in reducing her number of credit lines, definitely check out her channel. Thank you so much, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone, and talk to you soon.
Thanks, Matt.